Pretty Sunday. The Bradford pears are blossoming. And it looks like it's snowing with the blossoms falling. A little windy. It sure is pretty. Off to the garage we go. I think today I'm going to finish up that wiring harness that was messed up on the old truck. I got out my box of wires and stuff, so we'll get that done. I need to build a fuel line on the front of the motor engine, and I need to build the drive shaft. That was just a shade too long, I think. And see what else happens. I might move my tools around a little bit too. Now I've got a little dilemma. I need my parts washer, but stacked full of junk Volkswagen parts. Well, good parts, I guess. Some of them are junk. But I need to clean up this sender. I guess I'll have to do without or clean the parts washer. Alright, I got my wires kind of pieced together there. I still got to wire up the coil and the ballast resistor and the distributor and stuff, so I'm not going to finish that till I get all that stuff together. But I put the original sender on that T in there for the oil pressure. I just like to, it's just for an idiot light, but I'm kind of funny. I like those things to work. I put the temperature sender in the cylinder head over on the other side too, so the dash lights should work, even though I'll have gauges as well. Working on the drive shaft here a little bit. You can see we're missing a cap there. It's kind of a crappy U-joint on there. Anyway, I'll show you something later on about that, how you get that U-joint out of there. You'll notice there's no snap rings. And you also might have noticed when it's leaning up against the wall there, it's kind of rusty. I cleaned up the yoke for the transmission and cleaned out the splines. My handy little wire brush. And now I'm going to lay under there and be sure of my length and go from there. I had a couple U-joints on the shelf, but they're the wrong flavor. Alright, I determined the length I need my drive shaft. I scribed a nice straight line on it so I could keep my yoke oriented correctly. And then took my giant tubing cutter, which by the way needs a new cutting wheel there. That's the last cut I'm going to get out of it, I think. And cut the end off. Then I took this and ground a little burr off that was in there. And now what I need to do is cut that weld, remove that portion of the drive shaft, and then that should slip in there and weld up. There she goes again. I swear that thing looks pretty cool. Oh, my new tires! Daggone it. Is that the police chasing you?
No.
Do you know how much them tires cost?
I was breaking them in.
Alright, what I did is I took my little cutoff wheel there and cut around the weld, being very cautious not to cut into the yoke portion, just cutting the weld. And now I just need to prise it off there. You think I can do it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Those tires were $100 a piece. And I just saw them blowing off in wisps of smoke.
As if you wouldn't have done that.
That's not what we're talking about. That's besides the point. Okay, about got it off there. Works pretty good. Stick it in the vise. You just stick a pry bar in here and roll it off. You can see I gotta grind that down a little bit, but it's gonna turn out pretty good, I think.
Looks like it.
You were just making sure they were round, I guess. Look what I did.
At least you had your safety glasses on.
Yeah. Safety first.
That's right.
She's through cleaning up my mess. I broke her glass. But while she was doing that, I went ahead and put the yoke in the drive shaft. Got everything cleaned up. It's ready to weld. I made sure the yoke was on the same plane as that one, using my scribed line, and the center I found on the U-joint cap. Now I'm going to slide under there and test fit it before I weld it up.
Sounds like a plan.
Is that very smart of me?
Very smart of you. Here you go.
Yeah, I think we're good. That cap ain't gonna fit, it don't look like. No sir, it's too much biggest. Alright, the yoke's all the way up to the transmission, and it's got to go back about a ½ inch to the seat on the yoke back there, so I think we're good to weld her up. Cheer up, girl.
I'm fine.
Alright, we're ready to weld it up. You want to weld it?
You'd be good to do that.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to weld it up. We got everything cleaned up real good. And you don't want to take half measures here on the drive shaft, so we're going to go for it. Fire up the little Miller welder. I didn't have the camera on.
I know.
Alright, we got her welded up. Now the next order of business, excuse me, is to remove this U-joint. I'm going to have to get a combination U-joint because it's different on the differential. I'll have to get one to match this, and then one, would I do it, to match that. And such a thing is possible if you have a competent counter person. Now if you get one of these factory drive shafts that the U-joint hasn't been replaced yet, you'll notice there's no clip there and there's no clip there. This is designed to be an inside snap ring. And I learned this the first time I changed a U-joint on one of these. You can't beat that thing out of there unless, you can see right there, that's nylon. They inject them with nylon, I guess. But anyway, you gotta take a torch and heat it up till it squirts out. I'll show you that. It's kind of interesting. Sort of. You can see there it's squirting out the bottom. I thought it'd come out the top, but that's the way it goes. And now we gotta do the other side. I decided to use the other torch because I was running out of patience. I don't ever do that usually, do I?
Oh no, never.
See, it's starting to squirt up there. Got excited, didn't it?
That's neat.
And once that squirts out, then you can knock the drive shaft out. Okay, cameraman. that stuff was at in the groove on that cap?
Yep.
I bet it's hot.
Bet so.
Yes, it is. Okay, cameraman. Mrs. Heavy Chevy is going to help me out by going to the parts store tomorrow and see if we can find a competent counter person and get a combination U-joint so we can install it in the drive shaft, and I can put that in, and then I think I can set this old girl on the ground and begin doing some other stuff, like making the fuel line on the front of the motor, tighten up all the header bolts, determine if that radiator is any account, a little wiring. I need to make up my spark plug wires, figure out which coil I'm going to use, put that on, etc., etc. But for now, I think we better go in the house. What do you think?
Sounds like a plan.